There was a time I would rant and rage about this kind of bullshit in the sense of putting all the blame on Activision, putting all the blame on Blizzard, the developer, the shareholders, because that's why the companies... But they also do it, ironically, because of people like the whales. The whales. The whales.
Why isn't it in the fucking game without a pre-order? You blind? Dude, fucking fanboyism.
Microtransactions and
DRM.
Downloadable content.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Gamer Rant. My name's Kevin. Call of Duty players unhappy. $80 Conglo costs more than the game. Somehow I doubt that. You know, how many times have we seen these so-called overpriced cosmetics? And how many months, weeks do we have to wait before, what is it? Oh, that's right. Another game is releasing some kind of price microtransaction. We could sit here and we could blast Activision, Blizzard for this kind of bullshit. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is those that play the game. Because in order to get the glove, you have to purchase cosmetics that we're looking at right here. The total is $80, $20 a piece. That's the incentive. Purchase all the cosmetics and we'll give you this cosmetic. Nothing changes in gaming because of this. Nothing changes in gaming because of, well, just read some of these comments and you'll see why gaming doesn't change. This exists because of this. That's the truth. That's the fact. You know, there was a moment in time. You could probably find an old video where I do it. Some overpriced microtransaction. I'm shitting on the developer. But at the end of the day, objectively, the real problem, the real issue, the real blame doesn't go to the developer. It doesn't go to the publisher. It doesn't go to the shareholders. It doesn't go to the corporate tuxedo man who's never played a game in his life or her life. And they're the ones making the decision. The people that make the decision are the people that play the games. If you don't want an $80 cosmetic to exist, one, don't support YouTubers or streamers that willfully purchase the crap. That's just the reality of it. And two, if you don't like it, well, don't purchase the shit for your stream. There's objectively no real reason for it. But at the end of the day, I know and you know that this kind of shit will continue. It's the domino effect, which then means this will continue. You see why a $10 price increase for fucking video games objectively is bullshit. Because here's the reason why. They already got their pay raise. They got it back in the 360 PS3 era, ladies and gentlemen, when they decided to implement DLC/microtransactions. And then what happened? Oh, the prices went up to microtransactions. So they got two pay raises. And yet somehow they need that extra $10. They get this extra money and they can't even release a complete game. And by that, no day one update required. What was stopping Larian Studios from doing that? Not a goddamn thing. But they still did it. The only thing people focus on is we praise them for not doing microtransactions. You want to know why nothing changes in gaming is because when it comes to bullshit like this, which leads to bullshit like this, and then of course, day one updates, Redfall, Sea of Thieves, that exist purely because the consoles are attached to the internet. And it allows the developer/publisher to be lazy and not do their job proper. You can sit here and say that games are more technical, that they're bigger, but at the end of the day, what you're saying is utter fucking bullshit. You see, what most people fail to realize about back in the day was regardless of how easy you think it was to create a fucking game, 2D, 3D, whatever, there was no internet, so they had to get it right. They had to make sure that whatever glitches or bugs did exist, because they did exist, were not game breaking. But at the end of the day, all of the problems in gaming is because of gamers like this. Is because of gamers like this. It has nothing to do with Activision. It has nothing to do with Blizzard. It has nothing to do with Electronic Arts. They continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, knowing other companies have made those mistakes before them. And the reason why they do it is not because they're greedy sons of a bitches. They're going because there are gamers that speak their language. Which is, you know, if you haven't figured it out, this lovely little dollar sign right there, all right? You see, that there would be a time where I would see something like this back in the day, and I'd jump on it like white on rice. The game's garbage, the developer, fuck the publisher. But you know what? I think we all need to come to the realization it's no longer about fuck the developer, fuck the publisher. It's fuck the gamers. We're the ones fucking ourselves. We make excuses every day about this kind of bullshit. It doesn't matter how big or small of a YouTuber we are. Asmongold makes excuses. Angry Joe makes excuses. Hell, Angry Joe actually goes out and buys the fucking game to review it just to make money bitching off the microtransaction. You can't be more of a different kind of whale to Electronic Arts than that. Asmongold himself has even stated that he will purchase Microtransaction, even though apparently he doesn't like them, for streams. You're just a different kind of whale. You're part of the fucking problem. At the end of the day, this bullshit exists because of people like this, because of people like this, and because of people like this. I've stated it before in my own video. I've made my mistakes, but unfortunately it's a little late to learn from those mistakes after you've already made the mistake, you know what I'm saying? Because this is what all the mistakes got us. I think before we start looking at publishers and developers and saying, you know what needs to change is you need to change. When in reality, what needs to change is these kinds of people, and these kinds of people. Companies are only doing what gamers are talking and speaking. And at the end of the day, what this comes down to is speaking with your wallet. But when I say this, I mean, you look at something like Dragon's Dogma 2 and its microtransactions. Well, it doesn't help that people buy the game. It doesn't help that people make excuses for that game. Well, the game's good. It's not required. And you want to know why bullshit like this exists. Because the people that are saying exactly what I just said, that it doesn't bother the gameplay, it doesn't affect the gameplay, it doesn't affect other players. Well, you're no better than this gentleman. You're no better than all the people here. You're no better than old me. You're just as guilty. Isn't it time that maybe gamers stop talking to talk and they actually start walking to walk? How many times are we going to go through this bullshit? We sit here all the time with some new fucking microtransaction bullshit. You think this is the first time we've seen this kind of bullshit? Fuck no. That kind of bullshit was appearing 10 years ago. But gamers do what they do best. They continue to play the game. When the truth of the matter is, the fact of the matter is, the only way Capcom is going to change is if nobody had purchased Dragon's Dogma 2. But unfortunately, nobody knew about it. So then that means the next iteration that would have came in is everybody did a refund. But nobody wanted to do that because it didn't affect the game. The gameplay, it didn't affect other players. People are happy to bitch about it, but not so much actually do something about it. And that's why this will continue. Not because of Activision greed, not because of corporate greed, but because of the pure ignorance and arrogance of gamers.